Welcome back to One Piece Anime Review Part 3. This reviewing the 15 episode season that is Season 3. This one mostly adapted one full arc and the start of the final arc of basically the Baroque Works story arc, which encompassed like 12 volumes of the manga. This season adapts approximately 28 chapters. It adapts chapters 130 to 157. Yeah, it is exactly that many chapters. 28 chapters. And this basically this encompasses volumes 15 to 7. Well, pretty much the rest of volume 15, the entirety of 16, and pretty much about halfway through. I would say about halfway through volume 17. So once again, a few books this time. From what I remember from the manga, basically, that there is not much change here at all. Very little change was made because, well, that's one thing you gotta appreciate for anime is that they stick pretty close to the original source material as they can. While make a few alterations here and there. They might make occasional alterations, but not basically where it's drastically different. The ones I've seen, I've heard that Tokyo Ghoul basically makes very big changes that were completely unnecessary. I've heard that the Tokyo Ghoul anime is not very good. I'm planning on watching it just to see how bad it is. I'm also planning in the future to watch the 1999 version of Hunter x Hunter, a show that I've heard is also really bad as well. Though if you look at the animation, it looks slightly different than the 2011 version. But anyways, the season 3, basically the drum arc, which takes up pretty much almost the entire season with the exception of the last episode, is just basically the crew going to Drum Island to find a doctor for Nami. Yep, finding a doctor for her. And this is the season that introduces Chopper. Now, Chopper makes his debut in episode 81, which is approximately about 3 chapters in, at least about 4 episodes in. Yeah, 4 episodes into the show is basically when they introduce him, and he sounds like a little kid. And I forgot to mention this in the last video. I found out how old Zoro is at this point. This, of course, is before the 2-year time skip. He is 19. No, seriously. Zoro was 19. Also, in the manga, I basically finished up 51 last night. I thought I mentioned that. Yeah. While Chopper, at this point, he is 15 years old. And it's mentioned that he's been an apprentice to the old lady who basically, when she was younger, she looked a lot like Nami, which is the usual thing when it comes to One Piece. Almost all the women look almost exactly alike, because the artist basically just loves drawing women with hourglass figures and pretty much the same exact faces. Yeah, that's basically what he does. And also, like Leafy, Chopper's voice the one who does the voiceover is a woman. Yep, the dub actor is a woman, which is not unusual because, well, from what I've heard, women are usually good basically doing the childish voices. And yet I keep thinking, no, why couldn't they get an actual person? I don't know. From what I've heard, basically voice acting is a talent. The person who voices Chopper, her name is Brina Pilikia. I think it's how you pronounce her name. Yeah, she's one of the more younger voice actors in the show. From some of the shows I'm looking at, basically she's been in, I have never watched any of them at all. Though she was in Tokyo Ghoul, which I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. But yeah, that's the thing. Well, she did play a couple of characters from Dragon Ball Z, Chatsu and Puar. The 2 short characters who hang around with Tien and Yamcha. Yeah, that's who she voices in DBZ. She's the current voice of those 2 characters, so... Okay, so we have another Dragon Ball Z regular doing the show. Okay, fine. In case you wondered, does Nika Rappa show up in the season? Yes, she shows up, I think, in the last episode of the season. Yeah, she only made 1 appearance. That's it. She doesn't do anything, so just hang around wherever Crocodile is. Of course, that's sort of the last arc of this particular major overarching story, the Barak work story. Yeah, and the main villain, and get this, the villain of this thing has nothing to do with Barak work, so it kind of feels like this seems like it's not like a filler story per se. It's definitely canon to the manga. It's more like a side. It's like a stopping point before they get to Alabasta because Naomi got sick. Now, the woman herself is basically the doctor who they go to get her treated. Is 140 years old, though she keeps, oh yeah, I'm young at 149, and she first was a young hot woman, even though she looks like she's probably in her 80s, and she looks physically fit for a woman her age. Yeah, as for how she survived this long, that is never explained. Even the manga, they never bothered to explain how the heck she managed to live 140 years. And they refer to her as a witch, and they keep saying her like, oh yeah, she flies basically the whole, when she comes up with Chopper, when he was her assistant. Yeah, that was later explained via a rope that was tied to the place where Chopper's first person he was basically raised by briefly before she took over as basically his caretaker before he went off to join the Straw Hat Pirates. Also, when they get like halfway through the episode, they would show like the main five basically standing on a dock. Basically, it's the way the order goes. It's Usopp, Zoro, Leafy, Nami, and Sanji. That's basically the lineup they have, plus the Marigo off on the right. Thanks to Chopper joining the crew, he basically stands next to Usopp. Yeah, I had to bring that up. Also, this is a bit something that that's kind of weird for the show. You look at a character like Smoker, the way he acts like it's like he's supposed to be an American. Well, he doesn't speak an American accent per se, but he acts very much like an American. Basically, the one who's he smokes 2 cigars. He does show up for a couple episodes this season. I think he shows. I don't think he shows. I think he shows up once, if I can think. Yeah, I think he shows up once, and that's it. Also, here's something that's kind of basically weird for this thing. The Marines are basically the Navy. No, seriously, they're the Navy. It's just like it's like the creator Oda basically just combined. Oda just combined the Marines and Navy into one thing. They're both the same thing. As a matter of fact, there's Marines all over the place, and their main job is to catch pirates. Okay, fine. Except that if all the characters got wooden ships, then why in the world would they dress in modern day clothing? I have no idea why. It's just basically how stuff like this works. It's kind of like Naruto. What if you in Japan never ended? In the case of this, what if the piracy era basically kind of continued the modern day in a way? It's kind of like that, yes. How these guys dress is that all their coats have got Japanese characters on the back, and they have like shoulder things, which are kind of like how European uniforms tend to be, which Japan tends to borrow very heavily from Europe for their inspiration of how their government works and how their military works. They copy very heavily from the UK. So maybe Oda basically got inspiration from, well, not only Japanese uniforms, but also, Europe. I mean, that's why I think of when I think of these characters. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And apparently their headquarters is similar to how a Japanese meeting room is. Basically all the guys just sitting on the floor with small tables in front of them. That's basically how Japan is. So it's like Oda basically mixed in normal Japan stuff with pirates and European aspects, with characters similar to how people here like. I mean, if you look at Leafy, for example, does he look Japanese? No. I would say none of the characters look Japanese. I would say the only one that may look close to it is maybe Usopp. That's a maybe on that. I mean, Zoro he looks like an American. I mean, the way he's got a physically built body, he's got a lot of muscle, and though it is kind of unusual for a guy to have green hair, yeah, it's quite unusual. Or seeing a woman with orange hair, yeah. see a guy with blonde hair, that is not unusual because, well, Naruto had blonde hair as well. hmm Excuse me. So, yeah, that's really much it. I don't really remember Waffle that much from the particular arc. Um, it's like maybe they added him in. I think he is from the manga, but I barely remember him at all because I was just trying to read it. I do remember this particular arc really well. It just I don't remember Waffle. Yeah, and he's the main villain of this thing. Oh yeah, and apparently he has devil fruit, and he doesn't realize that the Leafy has got devil fruit as well. And he basically does some weird things. He eats anything. He eats snow, cannons. He even eats his own men. Like seriously. Yeah, and they combine into one and easily knocked out by Chopper. Yeah, and because he put on so much weight, he couldn't squeeze through a trap door, so he decided to gobble himself up. It's like, I think it's like Gobble Factor. I think it is, where he basically changes his bone structure, and he's a lot more thinner. That could explain how he becomes basically later on a CEO of a toy company, marrying the Miss Universe of the One Piece of the One Piece franchise. Yeah, I heard he does that later, but yeah, this was a pretty interesting arc per se, where you had where the main villain is simply a deposed king who really wants his kingdom back, but he has the most stupidest ideas for laws to keep his for being a tyrant. He basically, all except 20 doctors, which seems to 20 MDs, has all the other doctors exiled from the country, which I'm like, that is stupid. Really, really stupid. Heck, even one of his subordinates called, this is bullcrap. Like, oh yeah, and the only way these people can get medical attention is they have to grovel at his feet. Yeah, and apparently his father was actually a much more nicer king, and he's a tyrant. Oh yeah, and here's something really stupid of him to do. This reference that when the Blackbeard pirates showed up, he and his army ran. Yep, they ran. Scaredy cats they are. I'm like, seriously? So this king not only took basically his cabinet with him, but he also took the entire royal army as well. How stupid is this guy? Is he? And basically, he's also posing as a pirate. Apparently he has this gigantic ship which basically also acts as submersible. Yeah, that's something really weird about One Piece. Sometimes basically ships basically can submerge for no reason, like they're submarines. Yeah, that's never explained. Of why in the world that they can submerge and come out basically no problem. Yeah, that is something that's never explained. I have to look it up basically. How in the world is it that these wooden ships can submerge? Yeah, it's really bizarre. But, yeah, that's really much it. Not much else to say about Season 3. Good season. Looking forward to next season, which is, I took it, and this has the correct head count. Season 2 actually had 15 episodes, not 12. I miscounted. 3 definitely had the right episode count. 4 actually has 38 episodes. Yeah, 38. So, before I get to that one, like I did with Fairy Tail last week, I'm going to get some more comics done first, then I'll watch the season. Okay? So you probably won't get a chance to see part 4 of this, probably not for a couple days. It probably won't be tomorrow. No, because 38 episodes, it might take me a couple days at best. I could probably finish it up tomorrow and may be able to do a review of it. I don't know. It's just a big maybe on that. It just depends, okay? But, yeah, that's really it. So stay tuned for that part 4 whenever I get a chance to do it. But I am also planning on doing more videos soon. I got some trades to read. So you'll probably see a Comic Quarter probably in the near future. Okay? But until then, I will see you there. Bye.